Hi! Today I wanted to show you a variant on a classic dessert recipe. So today I'm going to show you how I make my Banoffee Crumble. Really simple. I'm making this so that it can be made with the kids if you want, or just as a quick dessert that you can throw together really easily. Now, if you're like us, I tend to buy a lot of bananas because I'll use them to make different desserts like banana breads. They're also a great natural sweetener if you wanted to avoid refined sugars in desserts. So all I'm going to do with these, excuse my bits of banana going everywhere. And here's a tip as well. I actually use my banana skins. You can use them in lots of different ways. So at the moment, with us being in lockdown, I try to reuse as much as I can just to be thrifty with our things and to make best use of everything that we have. So I will use those. I will either cook them and I'll put them in a sandwich for some lunch, or I will use them even to help with plants. They're really good as a natural fertilizer. But for now, for the crumble, I'm not going to do anything with the skins. I'm just going to use the bananas themselves. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to peel my bananas, get all these scraggly bits off as well. And this is so simple, you can do it with the kids. So it's a nice, simple recipe to do with your children. And all I'm going to do, I've got my dish here. I'm just going to cut them in half lengthways and lay them in the bottom of my dish. Now, naturally, if children are doing this, be careful because knives are sharp. And all I'm doing there is I'm just going to lay it across the bottom. So this is a recipe I'm going to make for my family. There's 4 of us in my family. Do 2 layers of bananas, and I'll probably end up using maybe 4 bananas between the 4 of us. Now, the simple thing with this is, on this occasion, normally I would use my homemade caramel sauce, but for today, which banana shall I pick? For today, I'm actually going to use, to make it even simpler for you, I'm actually going to use Nestle's ready bought, you can buy this in most stores across the country, across the world, ready-made caramel, just because it's really simple to put together then, and you can literally throw this together in a few minutes. If you're like me, though, it takes a bit longer because I talk a lot. Traditionally, from all the recipes I've found, banoffee pie is actually made using toffee, but it's actually, there's a lot of recipes out there using this kind of shop-bought caramel. I prefer making my own, as I've said in a previous video, just because it gives me the control of the colour of the caramel and how it looks and how it tastes and how much sugar goes into it. The first time I tried this recipe and I made it and I ate it, it was literally like having, I think I said to my husband, I think I'm in crumble heaven. It is absolutely beautiful. There we go. So that's that done. Next, we're on to making the crumble topping. Now, this is based on a very basic crumble topping that I do for any crumbles that I make. I've just lessened the amount of sugar in this because there's obviously quite a lot of sugar between the bananas and the caramel already. So I'm just going to move that to the side for a moment. In my bowl, I'm going to put, so crumble is basically 3 basic ingredients. It's flour, butter and sugar. I always find that crumble works really nicely with brown sugar rather than white, but there are a lot of people out there who like white. I just prefer the, because of the extra molasses that's in brown sugar, I find that it just enhances the flavour and caramelizes better. So into my bowl, I'm going to put my flour. This is 240 grams of flour. And I'm also going to add my butter. Now, there's different schools of thought out there. Some people will actually rub the butter and the flour together before they add the sugar. But I actually sometimes just do the lazy thing of chucking it all in and rubbing it all in at the same time, which is what I'm going to do today, just to show you that it does work. So there's my brown sugar as well. And to that, just to be a little bit different, I'm also going to put some nutmeg. Now, I love nutmeg. It's really versatile. You can use it in loads of savoury foods, sweet foods, all sorts of things. It's just a really lovely warming spice, and it just gives that slight, subtle, different flavour to the crumble. So I'm just literally going to grate a little bit in, probably about 1/4 teaspoon's worth or so, with my little mini grater. And the reason I do it here rather than doing it on top is because I'm then going to get this beautiful flavour of the nutmeg mixing through my crumble rather than it being just sitting on top. So it's going to incorporate in with the crumble. So that's why I like doing that. Now it's time to get your hands dirty. Obviously, this is something you can do with the kids as well. Just remember when you make a crumble to use your fingers to rub the butter together. That's what you're looking to do. So I'm just going to give everything a quick mix around first to combine all the ingredients. And then all I'm going to do with my butter is I'm just going to grab it and squeeze it between my fingers and then make sure the flour gets covered with the butter. That's basically what you're wanting to do. But just make sure as your butter gets smaller that you're rubbing between your fingers and you're not using the palms of your hand. You can, if you want to, add a little bit more butter in. What I find the butter will often do is just make it stick. Now I know I said I'm not going to use my fists, but I like to do this just to make it clump a bit more. So I just squeeze it in the palm of my hand just to make it clump. When it goes on top and when it goes in the oven, I really like those clumps. You get almost, it's almost like biscuity that it turns into. So I don't do it with all the crumble, but just certain parts. I'll just before I put it on, I'll just squeeze it together so I get really large fistfuls, as you can see there. And then as I'm putting it on top, they'll just break down into smaller lump sizes. And then you get really lovely kind of crunchy, biscuity bits of crumble when it's cooked, when it comes out of the oven. But that, if I break it up to show you again, is what you're looking for. So it's going to look like breadcrumby as a crumble topping, and that's how you know it's done. So you don't want to have any really large bits of butter. You want to have it more or less mixed through. The odd bit here and there is not going to make too much of a difference. So I'm just going to clump it up. Just do 3 or 4 handfuls of clumping like that, as you can see. And now I'm going to sprinkle it on top of my bananas. And while I've been doing all this has taken me a total of maybe 5 minutes to put all this together. While I've been doing all of this, I have had my oven preheating. So you can see the clumps that are forming there as I've been sprinkling that on. So my oven has been preheating at 170. And once this is all done, I will pop it in the oven for about 15 minutes or so, just to get the crumble topping cooked, because banana doesn't really need any cooking. It takes no time at all. Don't forget, if you're enjoying my videos, to like this video and do subscribe to it so that you'll know every time I release a new video. And that's it, it's now ready to go in the oven. So my oven, like I said, has been preheating at 170. I will pop that in for 15 minutes or so and I will bring it out and show you on the other side. See you shortly. So my crumble is out and it smells divine. This is amazing. So you're looking for it to be lovely and brown and biscuity on top, and you will see a little bit of the caramel starting to ooze out of the sides just as it bubbles up. Like with banoffee pie, you can absolutely serve this with some whipped cream or pouring cream or ice cream, but actually for me it's so delicious. I normally love custard with my crumble. I actually really like this on its own. It is gorgeous. Let's crack it open and have a look inside. This will convert anyone who does not like bananas or caramel or banoffee. I promise. And there you have it. Super simple banoffee crumble. Hey, that rhymed. How good am I? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and share and subscribe. And please, please do let me know if there's anything you would like to see me film for you. See you next time.